The real reason I'm doing this review is just so I can complete all of Arrow. Hey everybody, this is David, and today I am going to talk about Arrow Season 2. And as I kind of stated, after this, I have caught up with all of Arrow, sort of. I did the complete season, my complete season review of Arrow a couple months back. And obviously when I started doing these reviews, I started when Arrow Season 3 began, and I started reviewing each individual episode. And because I felt kind of bad that I never started from Season 1, I decided to go back and review Season 1 and 2 again. Number one, because I just felt like rewatching them again, and I just got finished rewatching Season 2. So why not? I take my time rewatching shows. I don't have to watch all the episodes in 1 week. So finally I got done watching Season 2 of Arrow. And this is what I thought about it. I am going to say I think Season 2 of Arrow is the best season of the series, definitely. And Season 1 was really strong too. It had a nice little start to it and allowed for Season 2 to take it to the next level, which, for a lot of shows, it's kind of hard. There's a lot of shows out there where after Season 1, that's where the show falls. With Arrow, Season 2 was probably the height of its peak so far. I mean, Season 3 and 4, which came out after it, didn't live up to the hype, which was Season 2. And, I mean, in some ways, maybe they set the bar up way too high. One of the reasons for that is probably because Deathstroke, Slade Wilson, played by Manu Bennett, is such a great villain in this season, and it's maybe an extra plus for the series that they set him up in the season before. So to reveal that he's alive in the present day, because you don't know where the island stuff is going. And that's what made the island stuff very strong in Season 1 and 2, was how it tied into the present day, where Season 3 and 4, I think, lost that a little bit. But I have a feeling Season 5 is going to make the flashbacks very important again to the show. I hope so anyways. I hope it's like the Season 1 and 2 flashbacks, because that's what really made those flashbacks really enjoyable to watch. And then to see how threatening of a villain that Slade is really good too. I mean, he really is a dangerous threat, and sometimes even, a little bit scary. We also got newcomer Summer Glau playing Isabel Rochev, I think that was her name. And she's an okay character. She starts off as this person who wants to take over Queen Consolidated. And she does so successfully by the end of the series, although she does get killed off. Spoiler alert, if you've never seen Arrow Season 2, I apologize. And there's a little bit of a reveal there for her, so I'll just say that ties into Slade. We also got Brother Blood, who's kind of a scarecrow type villain. He does intoxicate people with this serum that he has been creating. And once again, it all ties back into Slade, which is definitely one of the cool themes. But they make you think that Brother Blood at first is maybe the new villain of this series. And then when it changes, it's actually really cool once the real reveal comes in midway. Oliver Queen, once again, played by Stephen Amell, is badass. I love Stephen Amell in this role of Green Arrow. And, going from Season 1 to 2, you can see Stephen really growing into this character. All the actors are really growing into their characters. Colton Haynes as Roy, Katie Cassidy as Laurel. Although Laurel, in my opinion, has a little misstep more early on in the season, I think towards the end of the season, they start fixing her. They start realizing her. They even have an episode where Oliver tells her off and tells her, look, you keep blaming people, but I'm going to list out all your problems, and tells her straight on. And then after that, that's where actually Laurel starts to become a little bit of a more tolerable character. Now, we know where her character ends up in Season 3 and 4, and it's funny because Season 4, I think, was the best season with the Laurel, how they handled her. And it's too bad they did what they did to her in Season 4. I don't want to spoil it just in case nobody has seen it yet, but yeah. But definitely this was showing that, hey, the writers are really smart during this time. I don't know what happened, but hopefully they can get back in the game with season 5. This season also made me realize how much I really missed Mora, Oliver and Thea's mother in this season. I felt that she was a really strong character who, where the last season left off after she was involved with Malcolm Merlin's plan, we see that she starts to grow stronger as a character, and in many ways, despite what happened in the first season, she kind of redeems herself in this season, making her probably one of the best written female characters on this show. The action scenes in the show really take it to the next level. There are a lot of great action scenes. And I know a lot of those action scenes were done really well in the first season. And even in the third season, there were a lot of really good action beats. Season 4, maybe not as much. Hopefully season 5 can get back to what made Arrow great. And one of those great things was the action sequences. That's what made Arrow stand out from other cable network TV shows, was how cool the action and stunts were on the show. I want to see more of season 2 type action, the more grounded realism action. We get throughout the season a lot of villains from the comic books being brought to life. We even get the Suicide Squad at one point. So if you're very excited for the Suicide Squad movie, we do get a Suicide Squad episode titled the exact name. And even a little Harley Quinn cameo, which is really nice. And Tara Strong, who voices Harley Quinn in the video games Arkham Asylum, does a little voice cameo as Harley Quinn in that episode, which is really cool. One of the big highlights in the season is a 2-part episode called The Scientist and then 3 Ghosts. And these 2 episodes set up Barry Allen. Barry Allen, for those of you that don't know, is The Flash. And it's a great 2 episodes. It focuses mostly on Oliver, obviously, but because it is his show, but Barry gets some great time to shine throughout these 2 episodes and really lends himself to Team Arrow really nicely, and it's great seeing him interact. My only concern at the time was we didn't get to see him use his powers, and now looking back at it, I understand why, because they wanted to save how he got his powers for when the Flash TV show started. Originally, when Barry was introduced in this show, he was going to get his powers by the end of the season. They were going to do a 3rd episode at the end, towards the end, where Barry was going to get his powers, and it was going to be a backdoor pilot for the Flash. Now, because these 2 episodes were really good, and that's where a big twist comes in that 2nd episode at the very end. A big twist for Arrow comes up. And so when these 2 episodes did really well, some of the higher rated episodes of the series, they decided to turn his 3rd episode into an introduction for Cisco and Caitlin, who at the time, I think we were all a little concerned about these 2 characters because they seemed like they could have came off as annoying, and we were like, oh man, if these 2 are supporting characters for the Flash, that has me a little worried. But funny enough, Cisco especially, these 2 characters turned out to be great characters for the Flash, and we couldn't think of the Flash without Cisco or Caitlin now. So with all being said and done, guys, I really think Arrow Season 2 is the best of the 4 seasons of Arrow so far. And Season 3 and 4 hasn't even come close to how good the first 2 seasons are. And I really hope for Season 5 we get the earlier season type of scenario. It's funny because people say that, the show has always been to me the Dark Knight trilogy for television. And if you look at it, Season 1 is like Batman Begins. Season 2 is The Dark Knight. Season 3 is The Dark Knight Rises. And just like those 3 movies, the first is really good. The second is the best. The third, some people have issues with it. Could you imagine if there was a 4th Batman movie now directed by Christopher Nolan? So with all that being said, guys, I really love Arrow Season 2. If you haven't checked it out, I totally recommend it. The first 2 seasons of Arrow, for sure, are a must-see for everybody, I think. I think they definitely changed the landscape of cable television, not counting HBO. That's an unfair advantage, I think. But for a show that, like, entertains all ages, because I think Arrow's a good show to, like, watch with your kids. It's a little bit darker than Flash. It's not as fun as Flash, but there's a similarity there that I think kids can enjoy too, especially since the two shows connect. So comment below, tell me what you think of Arrow Season 2. Do you agree with me? Do you think it's the best season of Arrow? I'll be surprised if people don't think this is the best season and they prefer season 3 and 4 more. I think most people can agree season 2 is the best. And like this video if you agree with me. Subscribe to my channel because I'll be reviewing season 5 of Arrow, no worries, plus The Flash and Legends of Tomorrow. And check out me on Twitter, Facebook, and check out my podcast. And with that being said, guys, take care.